Is it better to invest in real estate in Cyprus or in Georgia? You'll find out my opinion on this in this video. Hello and welcome. My name is Florian Wilk. I have been the Managing Director of CMC in Cyprus for 15 years and for 8 years also in Georgia in Tbilisi. And time and again, clients and even friends ask me, hey Florian, where should I invest? Which is more attractive? Should I buy a property as an investment in Cyprus or in Georgia? What would you recommend? And of course, my answer is, it depends obviously, but if you need something for your own use, that's a different category. Here I'm talking purely about investments. If you're looking for an investment with an exceptionally strong rental yield and you want something possibly outside the EU, then of course Georgia is the choice. Obviously Georgia is not in the EU and it certainly won't be for the next 20 years. That's still a long, long way off, even though it could very well happen one day. But when that happens, prices will of course go up. And if you, let's say, are looking into the vacation rental sector, especially in the luxury segment, then I would recommend Cyprus instead. So for example, if you want to build a luxury villa or several villas, a villa park or something similar with 5, 6, 7, 8 villas or so to rent out, then Cyprus is very, very attractive. And if I want something more in the smaller segment, like 1 or 2 apartments or something like that, then Cyprus also has potential. Especially Larnaca is still very, very affordable. Other regions in Cyprus, unfortunately, are already far too expensive in my opinion. Yes, especially Limassol, just in terms of prices, the price per square meter when buying is such that I say, I don't know if they can go any higher. I think you should already be glad if the prices just remain stable. So in some cases, I wouldn't say overheated, but in some areas the prices are already really maxed out, I think, in Cyprus. But if you invest cleverly, you can still make very, very good deals in Cyprus. Georgia is suitable for someone who might be a bit more adventurous, who is looking for especially favorable purchase prices and is also considering the medium-term opportunities. There are 2 things that are particularly interesting in Georgia. First, Tbilisi, in my view, is more suitable for long-term rentals. I wouldn't really recommend vacation rentals there because in my experience, it's just not that lucrative. Or Batumi. And in Batumi, you have to be careful. For those who don't know, it's a popular holiday and recreation spot on the Black Sea coast. Especially in the summer, of course, it's relatively seasonal. The downside of Batumi, the potential problem, is that a lot is being built in the low-cost segment with poor quality, but of course also very, very low prices. But I would steer clear of that and really give it a wide berth, because the fact is you just don't get a sustainable or value-retaining property there, but rather, I don't want to say junk, but inferior quality, and the old rule applies. You get what you pay for, so to speak. But what does exist is, in particular, a project in Batumi that is in an excellent location. I think this is the best location you can possibly find in the entire city. When I invest in such flagship projects, I have the great advantage that both important components come together, namely the price increase due to the location. From my point of view, this is always the decisive factor in a real estate investment. That simply because of the location, I benefit from a price increase over the next few years. And on the other hand, of course, also attractive rental yields, especially when it comes to vacation rentals. Batumi is simply predestined for that. I wouldn't really recommend long-term rentals in Batumi. Instead, I would fully focus on vacation rentals. And especially in the luxury segment, there isn't that much available. There aren't that many high-quality hotels and vacation apartments, especially not in Batumi, where you can also meet Western standards, let's say European or American standards. Find the right thing. And that's where there's a certain gap and great potential if you invest there. So to get back to the core question, I think that depending on your taste and personal preferences, both destinations are very, very attractive for real estate investments, both for long-term rentals and for short-term rentals. And especially when it comes to prices, both Cyprus, not in all regions, as I said, but in some regions, and especially Georgia, still have enormous potential and room to catch up. There will certainly be 1 or 2 more upward surges to come. And if you're considering investing in a property, whether for your own use, we can help with that as well. We also have some really, really good cooperation partners, especially when it comes to investments. So feel free to book an appointment, and I'll place 2 links below the video for that purpose. One for Cyprus if you're more interested in Cyprus, and one for Georgia if you're interested in a real estate investment in Georgia. Feel free to let us support you with that. Personally, it's always important to me that you are successful with your investment in the long term. That's why we only recommend top projects where you can be sure that everything will definitely be completed, that the quality is right, that the return on investment is right for the buyer, and that you can simply make a sustainable long-term investment. Make an attractive investment. Because especially abroad, maybe you've already had negative experiences. There are always, and I see this regularly, developers who fail, projects that don't happen, or that are simply in a disastrous location. Recently, someone approached me and asked if I wanted to invest in a project in Batumi. So I said, send it over to me. I'd be happy to take a look at it. I'm always open and curious to see what's being offered. And then it turned out to be Kobuleti, which is a small town 30 minutes away from Batumi. That's then certainly fine for personal use, but it has nothing at all to do with a great investment or a good location. It honestly feels like a long journey, and you're far away from tourism. And if I want a return on investment, then that's absolutely out of the question. And it doesn't matter how cheap the price per square meter is. I simply won't get a solid return because I'll have a really hard time getting any vacation rentals in my property here at all. And we also have many clients whom we support with tax matters. Both in Georgia and in Cyprus, we naturally know this business, this rental business quite well, and it always becomes clear at the end of the day, as banal as it sounds, that location is once again the decisive factor here. And if I have the opportunity to invest in or take a look at the few top projects and then pick out the best one for myself, I think that's always the golden path, where you simply can't go wrong. So that's all for now. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'd appreciate a thumbs up. Please also don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I'm also looking forward to your feedback and your comments. Maybe you've already had experiences in Cyprus or Georgia or invested in the real estate sector. Then please feel free to let me know, and I'm always happy to get feedback and engage in discussion. So thank you very much, all the best, and see you soon. Yours, Florian Wilk.